Now, isn't it pretty crazy that this card right here, this ace hand trap, can potentially pass your opponent's turn back to your own? Alright, Digi-Egg cards, we got the 4 copies of the BT5 Sunomon right here. We're still playing the blue base after all, just because there are more blue consistency cards and synergy with the entire deck, and all the purple stuff is more leaning towards the topper end instead, just because again, there's not enough like purple rookies that I feel like are synergizing as greatly at the current moment. Therefore, this Sunomon does give your Garurumon or Omnimon its name extra 1000 DP overall. And then for our main rookie, we're actually still playing this starter deck 8 Gabumon of Inheritable. All turns while you have 8 or more cards in your hand, you get extra 1000 DP. Just a really good Gabumon that you always want to be digivolving and building your stack with generally. And as for the BT5 Gabumon right here, is your on-play searcher, grabbing yourself a Digimon with Garurumon in its name and also a Omnimon. You still play those 2 kind of pieces, so potentially hitting them is always fantastic. That's what you always want to try to cycle for and sort of find them. And talking about searching, we still play the 4 copies of the Gabumon X Antibody. This is the main reason why we're still sticking towards the blue base, because you can get awkward if you play purple stuff, and this guy can't digivolve on top of purple eggs. It can only digivolve for 0 on top of Gabumon specifically. It has that on play when digivolving to help you find your pieces again. Really good cyclability and helping you stack very, very efficiently as well. Now, I know some of you guys are more fans of the purple base, but unfortunately there isn't a whole lot of purple cards that we can utilize and sort of have a good synergy and consistency. But the good news is that we're going to be getting even more support for the Gabumon and Garurumon X Antibody line in both purple and blue in EX5. So really powerful deck that's going to be coming in super strong. So strong that I've seen it just basically destroy everything and MetalGar shenanigans all over again. But if you guys are just excited, then definitely subscribe, turn on that notification bell to stay tuned, because I'm definitely going to be covering that deck. And speaking of which, I posted this deck way earlier already on the AVAULT Club membership, so definitely stay tuned for that. And of course, I'll be posting one for that too in the future comes. Lots of updated drafts, lots of updated decks as well. Definitely stay tuned, and I appreciate the support if you join. For the level 4s, we're actually playing 3 copies of the starter deck 16 Garurumon right here, which we're trying to utilize as many pieces from that particular deck as possible. This is simply because it does let you digivolve for 2 on top of any Gabumon with its alternative digivolution requirement. It has that security effect letting you play a Gabumon or a Tamer with Mat Ishida from your hand or trash, which is always fantastic. And then it has that when digivolving, draw 1, trash 1, and with its Inheritable is also when attacking, draw 1, trash 1. So being able to draw cards and trash cards at the same time are going to help your deck a little bit, because we do have some synergy combos when it comes to it for sure. As we continue with our other Garurumon stuff, we still play 3 copies of the promo Garurumon of when attacking, Inheritable, get to draw 1, and it's not once per turn either. The great thing is also this card was reprinted in RB1, so it's very accessible now. Fantastic card, still really, really good, so definitely hold on to it. And yeah, if you guys haven't done so yet, be sure to grab them too. As we continue with more Garurumon stuff, 4 copies of Garurumon X right here. This is also one of the main reasons why we're still trying to continue to play the blue base just for now, because of its Inheritable, giving you sort of the battle protection that you really need, and potentially digivolving for 0. And this one kind of gets clunky if you try to digivolve on top of a purple level 3, which you can't actually. So you have to specifically digivolve into a Garurumon instead. So that's the whole reason again why I'm playing the blue base. And again, this is a really powerful card. Moving into our level 5s, again, we're just trying to utilize as many of the purple Starter Deck 16 stuff. We have 2 copies of the Were Garurumon right here. You can digivolve for 3 on top of any Garurumon that's level 4. It has a when attacking once per turn by trashing 1 card from your hand. You get to unsuspend this Digimon, so really good synergy again to showcase the combos later with you guys to make an attack. And it has the Inheritable of when attacking once per turn by trashing 1 card from your hand. You get to delete your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon, which is great for removing like Floodgate rookies and removing as you're attacking at the same time. And that's mainly the main substitute for this particular Were Garurumon right here. This promo one is restricted down to 1, unfortunately, because of how powerful it is. It can unsuspend when it attacks. It has the Inheritable security +1 as well, which is again why it's limited. And therefore, the other Were Garurumon that we have in the purple is a fantastic substitute to add in to sort of supplement for this card. Then we got 2 Sagittarius modes right here. Again, we want more battle protection. This can potentially bounce things as long as we have a Tamer one with Digivolve, 2 level 3 that we can bounce as well. It can be a Were Garurumon itself at the same time, or you can Digivolve on top of 0 on top of another Were Garurumon Garurumon and continue stacking that way, which is really neat. And for the rest of the level 5s, 3 copies of Garurumon X right here. When Digivolving, so that you can unsuspend, you can bounce level 4 stuff as well, as long as you get X antibody or Garurumon underneath is always a really good card for sure to have in the deck. Now let's talk about our level 6s. We play 3 copies of the brand new Purple MetalGarurumon Ace. Now, like I mentioned, as we move up the whole entire Digivolution line, we're utilizing actually more of the purple cards now because it's more applicable, it's easier to Digivolve and synergize and have the consistency. It has that hand counter blast Digivolving for free completely during your opponent's turn when they attack just before the blocking stage. You blast Digivolve for 0, you trash cards from your hand to gain 3 memory, and you can potentially pass your opponent's turn just like that, which is absolutely insane with its when Digivolving effect. It also has a when attacking effect. Once returned, by trashing 1 card from your hand, you get to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level on the board as well. With so many amazing effects, definitely comes with the Ace Overflow -4. So if it leaves the battle area in any way, you do lose the 4 memory, which is a huge drawback, but you want to keep and make sure it's stick on the board as much as possible when you go for the big pushes and attacks and combos. Anyways, 2 copies of MetalGarurumon X Antibody. Some of you guys might want to play 3 instead as your main. Totally up to you guys, but mainly can Digivolve for 1 until MetalGarurumon. When Digivolving, unsuspend this Digimon, it gains blocker into the opponent's turn as well. And with a secondary effect, it can potentially basically bounce all your opponent's lowest level Digimon when it becomes unsuspended during your turn, which is always fantastic. Really good removal tool there as well. We're actually not done with level 6s. We got a bit of spice right here. Because we're drawing and trashing a lot of cards, this is the whole reason why we're actually playing Nidhogg. This card is not really a level 6 that you want to access and Digivolve into, but which you can if you ever really need to. But it rarely comes up because you only play a handful of level 5 purples. You mainly want to keep this card in your hand, so when you trash it, you gain a memory as well, doubling up on the Ace card essentially. So then if you do trash multiples of these, you can gain a ton of memory and really gain a whole lot of value out of it, which is why this card is incredibly good for this deck as well. Last but not least, we'll just round off with the Omnimon package with the Blitz and the Omnimon X overall. Again, still a really, really powerful card to have in MetalGarurumon, so for removal, for extra swings and whatnot. And yeah, that's basically it. Let's talk about our tamers. We got 1 Matt Ishida right here, trying to utilize it as much as possible. It's our memory tamer. It has the all turns effect of when your effect trashes a card from your hand, you can suspend this guy to gain a memory. Again, really good synergy, almost just like Nidhoggmon essentially, which is really fantastic. And then we also have Davis right here. Davis is still our main blue tamer, memory tamer of the deck, so we can search. Really, really great card. You guys know it's a really strong staple. And then we have 3 copies of Cool Boy, definitely at least 3 copies just because of its sheer searching power, consistency, Digivolving through your X line, gaining memory back and drawing more just for 2 costs. Always ultimate value when it comes to this guy right there. Now let's talk about our options. 3 X antibodies right here. Of course, X antibody lets us sort of do more shenanigans with its combos, but also having X antibody underneath, we can have a bit more sort of effect synergy when it comes to our X antibody line after all. And we always want to see this because when it comes to combos, really, really crucial card to have for sure. And then last but not least, 2 copies of Blue Memory Boost, just a generic staple because we're playing the blue base. That's why we're playing this one particularly there. All right, other tech cards that you guys can be playing. Let's talk about the Starter Deck 15 Gabumon. It is a really nice one that you can Digivolve on top of Sunomon for 0 cost, but like I mentioned, if you have a purple rookie, it's going to disrupt your level 4's lineup a little bit more, especially when it comes to the Garurumon X, which is why I didn't include it in this particular build. But otherwise, it is kind of nice to have every now and then, so if you do decide to add it, be sure to be careful when you're playing it as well. And then we have the other Garurumon. If you don't want to play the new Starter Deck Garurumon and you want to go for the old-fashioned one that can Digivolve for like lower costs to sort of gain memory if you ever do it in the battle area, or having extra 1000 DP if you ever want to, that's totally fine. But I like the new one a lot more because it gives you a bit more value compared to this one. And as an alternative level 6, you can actually go into Z Garurumon for like wide board removal, bouncing, really, really nice stuff right here. Just an alternative Garurumon that you can actually potentially be playing. As for other options, other than just Nidhoggmon being a really good one to trash from your hand, Underworld's Call also kind of does it very similarly. It helps you sort of draw more cards and cycle through more cards, and you can potentially play a level 4 or lower purple Digimon card back from your trash. Isn't as nice because your only target is going to be the purple Garurumon specifically, but again, just another like thing to spice it up. Then for removal, Full Meteor Impact, I think this is one of the best bouncing option cards out there just because you can potentially gain a lot of memory and basically play for fewer costs compared to even Kakaida's Breath. So again, really, really good removal tool there. And then last but not least, there's also Hammer Spark, which you can play, which is always great for gaining more memory and also, you know, sort of coming out from security, disrupting your opponent's turn, gaining even more memory during their turn can really screw up their plays, which is always a great card to have for sure in any blue deck. Okay, combos and how to play this so-called newer version of the MetalGarurumon deck. Really, mainly when you mulligan for your hand, you just really want to see a very simple Digivolution line of your level 3s and then into your level 4s and so on, and just continue, and also at the same time see your searching pieces, whether it's Davis, whether it's your blue memory boost, whether it's your cool boy. You know, you just want to have cards that help you search, find your pieces, and you can build your stack at the same time. That's really what it is all about. So early stages of game plan, of course, you'll hatch, and ideally you would always just want to Digivolve into this Gabumon because it provides inheritable, and then you want to be sometimes hard playing this one. Sometimes you got to really choose between which one to Digivolve. If you don't have access to the other one, you might as well just Digivolve in the back. But also what I really like to do is sometimes hard play this one, and if I can follow up in the same turn or potentially next turn, Digivolve Gabu-X on top to get more value and continue cycling that way instead. Otherwise, this is why you have blue memory boost. Really important for the deck. This is why you have cool boy as well. Again, very good searchers for the entire deck. Sometimes you might even just Digivolve into Gabu-X here in the back and build your stack that way, because having multiple level 3s is going to become helpful, because eventually you will Digivolve into your Garurumon, that's blue, and then you can Digivolve into your Garurumon X, and that's where you get the battle protection right there. And then otherwise, sometimes you might even do an early promote now, because your game plan strategy is very different compared to the older one. You're not trying to OTK anymore. You're not trying to hide and raising, come out and then for a very massive big turn. It's not really what it's about. There's a little bit of control aspects in this deck and a little bit back and forth. So you might even come out as a rookie, which is totally fine. And this is why you can Digivolve for 2 into the purple one, so they can draw and trash one and sort of combo and synergize as you go along, and then build your stack that way and continue to do so. And eventually what you really want to be seeing is your level 6 being your MetalGarurumon Ace card right here. And as well, potentially some Nidhoggmon cards. Whenever you're doing drawing and trashing combos, you get to trash your Nidhogg so they can gain extra memory out of nowhere, and your opponent may not even see it coming, which is always fantastic. And like I mentioned, this is when you either want to Digivolve into one of your level 5s, and in the level 5 sitting here, any of them is always fantastic. And also very importantly, you know, having X antibody underneath if you ever really need to do so to continue with more like attacking combos and whatnot. So regardless of which level 5 you sit on, you might sit on this one, the old one, then you can go for the old potential OTK combo like you used to, which is always really great, and then sit on the WereGar-X afterwards. If not, you might be sitting on the newer one, as long as it's a level 5, or ideally a WereGar-X, or even a Sagittarius on top and then a WereGar-X. Any combinations of these are fine. Like I mentioned, as long as a level 5, it will work. Then you pass your opponent to however memory, let's just say they go to 3 or whatever, they do their combo, go down to 1, and then they attack you, and when they don't respect you, this is when you can blast Digivolve into MetalGarurumon Ace. When Digivolving for free, you trash up to 3 cards in your hand, you get to trash whatever, let's just say whatever these 3, you instantly just pass the turn back to you, just like that, if they can't no longer gain any more additional memory after that. And by doing so, you can gain a lot of advantage in that one single turn being passed, and then you can just start swinging, attacking, and going for your big combo plays there, and continue attacking and control the board at the same time. It's really interesting how this becomes more control. If ever when you blast Digivolve at the same time, you trash a Nidhogg, you can gain additional memory. Really wild maximum combo is that if you have multiple Nidhoggs and you keep them in your hand, that's when you want to keep them in the moment for the big turns to trash again, and again, gain a lot of memory just like that, like I mentioned. MetalGarurumon is always great because when you attack and trash more stuff to delete things while you're doing so, and then eventually you also go into MetalGarurumon X, so you can control the board even further, unsuspend and attack at the same time, and have a lot of offensive and defensive strategies all together in one go, is really what it's all about. Again, as you're doing that, ideally, you might be building your second stack ready to go because of all the board control you're doing. So let's just say you Digivolve into this, and then you eventually Digivolve into this, and again, and then all you have to have is again another level 5, and then having access to another MetalGarurumon Ace eventually, which it's quite often in this deck where you see 2 stacks potentially. Your first stack might get removed for whatever reason, you build another one, you control the board enough, and then you can go for the second one if they ever do the same thing. Again, disrespect, then you get to
go into MetalGarurumon Ace right here to basically stop there. And then you just continue to attack whenever you can and keep swinging and keep utilizing the unsuspending effects over and over again. And a very quick one, you know, just as a sort of like addition, because of the Garurumon here, with the new one in the deck, it's really nice. When you have the battle protection, you can actually feel free to swing in, trash a card from your hand to unsuspend it, so you can do more attacks like that way. And then you can swing again. Let's just say if you had an X antibody underneath it as well, then you go into a Garurumon X right here. When Digivolving as a spend, that's again 2 hits, and then another one, 3rd hit, just like that, if you ever need to. And essentially go into Garurumon Ace during your own turn. If you have enough cards in your hand to trash, you can basically go into this for free, and then even go into MetalGar X again for 1, retaining your turn if you can somehow with Cool Boy, Memory Boost, whatnot, swinging once more again. And then to top it all off, if you ever need to, you can go for the Blitz combo, Blitz Omnimons, whichever you want, or the X antibody one to finish off the opponents as well, which is always really nice. So that's exactly how you want to play. Really, ideally, importantly, you're actually just sitting on the board with a level 5, waiting for your opponent to come. And then once they come, you go into your Blast Digivolve for ultra value, just like that. If you guys haven't seen the budget version of this deck where I utilize 2 copies of the starter decks and it is also purple based as well, then be sure to watch that video right here. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are. See you next video. This is Vault signing out.